Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name's Richard. Today we're going to be talking about oil and oil changes for your car and motorbike. Mainly motorbikes, but include your car as well. But a couple of notifications before we go any further. Tenerife. There's a link in the description to the video that I released on going to Tenerife. I know there are people sat there on the fence wondering whether they should come to Tenerife with BP or not. I want you to reach out via email and just show your interest. I want to see if there's interest out there to come out for a few days to Tenerife and work with Tenerife on Triumph and hire out a few motorbikes for 3 days and ride the beautiful roads of Tenerife up to Mount Teide. Reach out via the email in the link in the description to the video and reach out to us. Scott, I've already got your email. There is interest, but I'm not getting any emails to this account except from Scott, which I will have responded to by the time I've released this video. Reach out. Don't sit on the fence, just show me that you've got some interest and that you fancy going out. I met a guy the other night and he was lonely and he'd passed his test earlier on this year, and I said to him, why don't you come out to Tenerife? And he jumped at the chance. He's already thinking about it, yeah? So don't waste no time, show your interest by emailing us. Secondly, Austria. I'm going to Austria very shortly. You'll have noticed now that I've got a top box on the back of the T120. Great deal. Second-hand rack, a Jivy rack for £70, and then the universal monarchy plate that attaches to the rack so I can put the top box on. That was £40. So for £110, I now have the capability of carrying my top box that came off the Triumph Tiger. So today, remember, I'm going to Austria. So don't forget to look at that video regarding Tenerife. So today, we're talking about oil changes. Now, some of you already know that I've lived in a few countries, and there's some bizarre things that are going off regarding the marketing of oil changes. Now, technology has changed rapidly within the last 20 years, rapidly, in both engines and oil. But we're still looking as if we're back in 1970 when it comes to changing oil. So it's a bit of a controversial video. Let's take it from there. Let's talk about it on the ride. Let's go for a ride and talk about oil and oil changes. There we are. There's a train going past. Beautiful evening in Staffordshire. Let's go for a quick ride and talk about oil. Right, let's talk about oil. Now, I've lived in a few countries. Qatar was one of them, other countries as well. And you know, when I was in Qatar, everybody used to say that you should have your oil changed every 5,000 kilometres. That's kilometres. So that's every 3,200, about there. 3,200 miles. Yeah? Let's turn left here. Let's turn left. And I used to say to people, you know, because I had the bikes and that, I used to say to people, why are you doing this? Why are you changing your oil every 5,000 kilometres and paying the equivalent of £140 to have your oil changed and the filter? Oh, you've got to. It's because it's hot here. Alright, so are you telling me because it's hot in Qatar at 40 degrees that has an effect on the oil that runs at a much higher temperature than 40 degrees Celsius. Oh, well, it's just what we do. And I said to her, I say, you should be doing exactly what the manufacturer's service schedule says. And they take into account all the things like ambient temperature and all that good stuff. Oh no, and I just couldn't convince people to go by the schedule of the vehicle that they had got. I couldn't convince them. And bearing in mind, when you have a car in the likes of Qatar, it's a very transient thing. They tend to swap the cars every 1 or 2 years. Yeah, they don't keep them for long. So for every 3,200 miles in Qatar, they were changing the oil, because that's what they were told. So basically, in Qatar, it was an industry of making money from people, encouraging people to change their oil every 3,200 miles or 5,000 kilometers, because they thought it was hot, which from my understanding is unadulterated rubbish. Now, oil has moved on over the last 20 years, and engines have moved on over the last 20 years exponentially. Yeah, the technology has gone on unbelievably fast. The quality of engines is superb now, and the quality of oil is superb. And now we have oil for cars that is change it every 2 years. Now, I know on a motorcycle most people do no more than 2,000 miles, and it says on this particular bike, on the Triumph T120, I should be changing my oil every year or every 10,000 miles. Now, 95% of Triumph T120s will never do 10,000 miles a year. The other 5% will, you know, they'll change their oil when they get to 10,000 miles. The point here is, if I was doing 2,000 miles a year, why am I changing my oil, which is a relatively cheap thing? Although I'll come on to that in a minute, because I've just had my 600 mile service. It's a relatively cheap thing to do. It really is a relatively cheap thing to perform, assuming you're doing it yourself. Yeah? Assuming you're doing it yourself. You can order the oil and the filter off eBay and actually perform the task yourself. But most people don't. I understand that. Most people don't. So why are we doing this? Comment below. And don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to like. Do like the content. Comment below what your thoughts are on this matter. Now, I've got this T120, and I'm going to make it clear. I know it needs a service every 10,000 miles, but because it's such a lazy engine, I won't be changing the oil on this every year. Once I've got to 2 years or 10,000 miles, I'll then change the oil. Yeah, I will then change the oil. But I'd love to know what your thoughts are. It's an interesting subject, and I think there's a bit of a scam going off here. Everything's changed radically over the last 20-30 years. But I remember in the 1980s, that you changed your oil every 12,000 miles or every year, whichever was sooner. And and that hasn't changed. Generally speaking, I know there's 2-year oil, but generally speaking, they're telling you to change your oil every year. Now, why is it a year? Why not 9 months, or why not 15 months? Yeah, why is it every year that you should change your oil, regardless of how many miles you've performed? So for the grandma, and I'm being stereotypical here now, for the grandma that goes out to Tesco a couple of times a month and does 1,000 miles a year, that grandma now needs to change her oil every year. She's absolutely been indoctrinated to the idea of changing the oil every year. I find it a bit bizarre that we're not thinking differently now. Yeah, oil is much better than it used to be. The engines are much better than they used to be. It really is food for thought. Now, I understand that you're going to say, well, it's good service history and it keeps the value of the bike. Well, let's just take that bit out of the equation for the moment. Yeah, just take that bit out of the equation. Let's wait for this white van. Take that bit out of the equation. Take the servicing and the value of what it brings out of the equation. Why are we changing oil every 12 months when we've only done 1,000, 2,000 miles on a motorbike? Food for thought. Food for thought. I'd love to know what your thoughts are whilst I ride around on this lovely evening in Staffordshire. Off to Austria in a few weeks. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. With Mark and Charlie. Off to Austria. Oh my goodness. Remember, if you've got this far in the video and you're sitting on the fence as to whether to come to Tenerife or not, just send us an email and register your interest. It costs nothing to register your interest. Yeah, I'm trying to get like-minded people together for a few days riding in Tenerife. There are many single people out there, male and female. So let's go out there and go and have a great time. Yeah? Let's go and have a great time. He's driving way too fast for these roads. He's driving way too fast. Anyway, register your interest via email. There's no commitment here. I want you to get out of your house and come and join us in Tenerife. Come and join us. You'll have a great time. We'll have lots of fun. Just come and join us. And if you're a pillion rider, and there are 2 seats for pillions, come and join us. Come and have a few days riding and the evening meals and all that good stuff. If you've got any questions, just put them in the email. Yeah? Waste no time. Waste no time. Right. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. Please like. And be kind to everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Just be kind to everyone. You never know what their story is. And as I always say, everybody's got a story. Waste no time. Get in touch with us. Let's go to Tenerife. Stop pondering on the fence. Send me an email saying you're interested. If not, we're going to have to call it off. And I'm trying to get everybody together. But Scott, I will have emailed you by the time you see this video. Let's have a bit of communication and let's say, yes, I'm interested. It might be pushing your boundaries, and that's fine. We're all pushing us boundaries in this world. Get off the fence, register some interest. Let's see what we can do. We can have a great time. Yeah? No crazy riding. We're just taking us time, having a bit of fun. And there's nothing wrong with having a bit of fun. Okie dokie. Ride safely, be kind to people. Usual thing. I'll see you very soon. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye bye.